Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe. So, because it's a little bit cold today and I don't really feel like wandering around outdoors, it is the beginning of January 2025 after all, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today and explore the Royalmount Mall up in the town of Mount Royal. It's been under construction for a little while, finally opened up within the last couple of months, and, well, I knew eventually I was going to want to cover it down the road because it does have some cafes and probably a couple of restaurants or a place to grab a drink too, and just want to explore a little bit around and then see what else is going to be there. So we're going to get right on to this. Before we do that, let me give you one suggestion. Hit that subscribe button below and put your notification bell on. That way, if there's a new video that's ready to view, you're going to get a pop-up on your phone. Also, give me a... lost my word for a second. Give me a thumbs up while you're at it. The more likes I get on this, the more the channel is promoted across YouTube, so you do help me out a lot more than you realize. Now, I'm kind of in a Phil Collins mood, so let's start that for the montage. It's been a little while since I came to this part of town. I think the last time was probably early August when I recorded my episode around the Orange Julep stand, which, if you want to see that one, I'll put a link in the top right corner for you to watch that. And actually, depending on, because of my location, I'm actually technically a few blocks north of where it's located, and I could probably get a good shot of it. Well, probably hard to get it in the background, but trust me, the Julep stand is there. The way to get over here is, well, besides driving along with the carry and then getting off, is you could take the De La Savane subway station up here, and then there's a tunnel that takes you right across the carry right into the mall. So if you are a fan of public transit and you prefer to use that, that is one of the options around here. And as far as this part of town, well, I did mention in my Orange Julep episode that eventually I wanted to explore the town of Mount Royal, or TMR as they say for short. I just didn't expect that today I would be making a return visit around here. I know eventually I'm going to want to go back around Jean-Talon West like I pointed out in that video, because there are some cafes and some restaurants that might be worth a visit. But I'll say that for when the weather is nice. This is actually perfect because, again, I can stay indoors while I'm recording. More people around here than I expected it. I guess since the mall is relatively new, that everyone's going to be making a bench to see what it's all about. At first glance, it seems like there's a lot of the same stores I find around here that you would find in most other malls. Bonbon Sugar Daddies. Okay, if I'm looking for a sugar daddy, I guess I could go right there. See a Poke Station, A&W, huge lineup for Starbucks. And so far that's what I see in terms of eateries. But now if I keep going around it, I'm going to be able to find more stuff. Yeah, I'm taking off the sunglasses because I'm indoors and I don't want to look like a weirdo that's recording while sunglasses are on. And again, how many people like me are walking around with a camcorder around here? Wow. I'm on the second floor because that's exactly where the tunnel would lead you. I am going to have to take a look at the bottom to see what else is around. Ooh. This always used to intrigue me as a kid, where all of these car displays that you find around. I know for a while there'd be Chevrolet, I'd see Ford as a kid, BMW, but in this case it looks like it's a Tesla one. You know, I guess way of the future. Oh, there's a Cybertruck there on display. The kids are walking around on it. All right, I guess it is all fun and games. Still quite a bit of empty spaces around here, but I got to keep in mind that I'm pretty sure this is just the first phase of development. In due time, they're going to have more shops open, and I think even like a condo complex is going to be around. So people who want to live right by the mall, they're going to have that available. As far as why this was built, I'm guessing that they're trying to keep some shopping and stuff around the city so that people don't have to go off island for their malls. Like, perfect example, the Distrand around Brossard, which I did cover before my friend Julie, so I'll put a link on the top right corner for you to watch that. But I guess they're trying to compete with that because, well, it's a giant indoor mall, but them, it's that one is like an outdoor mall with all the shops spread about. A little bit similar to Marché Central, it's up in the Hunsick. So I guess that's kind of a way to make their own Distrand or another big mall around the city so that people be driven to stick around here. Is this something that'll be working? That's going to be a wait and see kind of thing. Obviously, you got the transport that's going to be helping out a lot for that. Parking is available, but apparently it's paid parking, which is a disadvantage some of those other malls don't really have. I don't know. Foo-foo? Looks like it's some kind of a food court or maybe a bar there. Maybe I could stop up for a drink later on if necessary. But I'm going to admit that whenever I see foo-foo, first thing that comes to mind is foo-fun électrique or électronique. I forgot what the full name is, but that's a bar club that's we just call foofs for grief. I only went there once for my old boss at HMV's last shift there, and that was the only time because it's one of those loud vibes that, you know, in my 30s or as I'm approaching 40 now, is really not my thing. I'm more a guy to sit at a pub and shoot the shit with people over good music rather than being at a loud club. That's just my personal take. The Rec Room. It looks like it's one of those arcades that's attached to a Cineplex that I guess if you want to play some games in between movies, then that's an option. From what I can see, they got the usual suspects around here. Basketball courts, some kind of electric dodgeball game. Oh, that thing is pretty huge. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record here, but maybe I can give it a shot. Mario Kart arcade machine. Seen a few of those in my time, but never really did those as much. But there is something else that caught my eye too that's pretty interesting. Back of me is a Dr. No pinball machine, like Dr. No, the very first James Bond movie. I feel like that the last time I saw one of those was, oh yeah, that was at Four Origins around the same time last year when I was doing a little wander around Point St. Charles. I'll put a card in the top right corner if you want to revisit that one. There seems also to be a few other bars around here and cantinas. I'm kind of curious to see what they serve on tap. I'm just going to take a quick glance and we'll find out if I can record. I need to take a little bit of a breather because it is getting kind of crowded in there and I don't want to stick around too long. I did take a look at the beer taps that they had and they got some of the usual suspects. They got obviously Coors Light. I saw La Marraquée from Brasseur de Montréal. The most interesting thing I saw is they also have Madrid over there, which is popping up a lot in the bars I'm visiting. In case you haven't tried that, that's Molson's take on, you know, trying to do a Spanish-style beer from Madrid, which I have had before. Takes me back to my vacation in 2018 when I went to Madrid for a week, so it's kind of nice. But even with all that, I didn't feel like sticking for a pint. I feel like I should just have a coffee for myself first and then take it from there. definitely digging the mugs over here. Pretty nice coffee, and oh yeah, this is Cafe Eva. So unlike a lot of the other parts of the fufu that I saw, this seems it's a sit-down place where you could come get brunch or even get some stuff for supper that's served all day. I did take a quick look at the menu, but I wasn't thinking of eating. I just wanted to get an Energizer for myself. Oh, hang on, there we go. Camera's adjusted. But when I was looking at the rest of the food court, unlike the Poke Station and the Poulet Rouge I was over up at the front, this one seems to be a place where you just line up, grab your stuff, and then go sit down at the rest of the food court. So it's almost reminding me of similar fashion to the Time Out Market, where it's a lot, I guess, fancier takeout stuff, and then just sit down in the center, or a bit like what they did with the Cathcart up at Place de Marie. That mall, I remember, changed a lot from 2017 to 2019, believe it or not. Because when I was a kid and I was a young adult, remember that was like your typical food court with your McDonald's, there would have been a Kojak's, sushi place, especially if you were growing up in the 2000s. And I said it because I remember in the 2000s that those were popping up almost everywhere, like it became a new trend. And eventually just changed to, I think I've seen a couple of the sit-down restaurants that had takeout stuff there. They might have other locations across the city. But one thing I do recall is going there twice with some coworkers in the beginning of 2020 when it finally opened up. And there was one bar that we were sitting to grab a drink, excuse me, that had all microbrewery beers on tap. So it meant I was able to get my Shelton New England IPA with a whole bunch of other ones. Sadly, I didn't last long because it seemed like that opened up in the beginning of 2020, just shortly before the pandemic started. And then once things started to reopen, I feel like the vibe changed altogether. The bar that's in the center didn't have much of draft beer, just maybe 2, maybe 3 things if I'm lucky, and mostly canned craft beer. But it seems like it's mostly a wine and cocktail bar. I'm okay with some cocktails, to tell you the truth, but honestly, I have to be in the mood for them. It's like me doing a rare Negroni or Aperol Spritz. Oh, actually, Negroni, I remember, I showed that off one time last year, and I went along Saint-Henri, hopped along between Majestic and Urbanista. I'm going to put a card in the top right corner for you to watch that one if you want to revisit it. But all to say, just me sharing some stories of past episodes while I'm enjoying a coffee. And after I'm done here, I'll probably finish exploring the rest of the first floor and see if anything else catches my eye. An outdoor skating rink. I suppose if there was some activities going on, this is where it would be hosted. I think I'm around where this would be the mall square for the outdoor promenade, and probably the center point as they get continuing with the construction of this whole mall. There's a couple of new spots I think I've seen here. I saw a Tommy Cafe that I'm kind of familiar with. Ganadara, which is I think some kind of Asian fusion bistro. There's a few locations of that as well. And I think I've even seen a Mexican restaurant in the background. But one thing I also do know is that I'm going to have to get inside before it starts to get a little too cold because I am feeling the wind chill. There we go. So that was a pretty good coffee also. And in terms of Eva's, in case I didn't bring it up, turns out I looked them up and there's actually another location out in Saint-Henri. So my guess is that it's probably around the Notre Dame Street West area, which gives me another incentive to go back there because I know that there's probably more to discover around there too. But maybe what I should do is take a look around, maybe just check out what's on the main floor before I hit the road. It seems like the fufu or the food court there, with a lot of the sit-down restaurants, is open until nighttime. So while the rest of the mall might be closing down, that should be open. Of course, depends if I want to stick around here for a pint and a meal. Wait and see. Cybertruck. First time I've seen it up close in person. So I usually see them from a distance, either if they're around around the city, like being driven around, or just at the Tesla lot over in St. Bruno. I feel like I've explored just as much as I could of the main mall here, because there isn't too much I could see at the bottom. Again, I'm sure as time goes on, they're going to have a few other shops that open up, and maybe they'll expand the building, similar to how the Discount expanded a lot from the late 2000s up until today, where it's like a massive mall, like probably the biggest outdoor mall around the South Shore. As far as if I'm going to come back here, I don't think I'll be coming back for the mall itself, but maybe for some of the restaurants as they continue to open up, I'll give it a shot, particularly the ones that are unique, because I wouldn't come all the way out here just to have an A&W or Poulet Rouge. I get that around my neighborhood. Burke's, Le Maire, Le Labo. The impression I had before when I was walking around is I kept hearing there was supposed to be a lot of these luxury brands. Well, I do have a Rolex booth that's going to be opening in 2025, but things like Yves Saint Laurent, Prada, stuff like that. It almost makes you think that it could have been like the Ogilvy building. If you've been around Montreal, Ogilvy, or as it's owned by Holt Renfrew right now, is a similar thing. I walked there before and I saw there were kiosks for every single vendor there, and I was looking at one of the t-shirts. I saw a Casablanca t-shirt for like $300. Casablanca the city, not the movie. So it's kind of like, that's beyond my budget and not something I'll really pay that much for. If someone's into luxury fashion, go for it. Me, it's not my style. I look for practicality and things that are economical at the same time. But some exceptions like this hat. No matter what, I always like to have a quality hat. And there we have it. First visit to the Royalmount Mall. Overall, seems like it's kind of interesting, like I said, for some of the restaurants. Otherwise, it does look like it's typical of a lot of malls I've seen around. But I suppose that if I was to dig deeper, then I'll find something else interesting as time goes on when new things open up. I'll just take one last look around here to see what kind of restaurants are here. Like I said, there's this Mexican place, Balam. There's some Italian joint. And, there's a Belle et la Boeuf over here. Good burger bar if you ever want to, go get something basic, or order one of those intense burgers where you have to sign a waiver so they're not held responsible if you do something stupid with it. It's one of those kind of things. But, okay, Olive Gourmando. Yeah, maybe some of the outdoor restaurants will be interesting as well. But we'll wait and see. Till then, thanks for watching this latest edition of a Wandanyuki Cheese Cafe. So if you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my wanders around the city, my stories that I share, and bad jokes that come with it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comments. I'll see what I could do. Till then, take care and see you next time.